The biggest battle we will ever have to face is the battle between you and you. It's the battle of taking your mind to that limit and then breaking through. On the Mindful Experiment podcast, we will share concepts, universal laws, and interviewing individuals who have done just that, who have gone through the dark times and through those moments allowed their light to shine bright. I'm your host, Dr. Vic Manzo, and I want to thank you for listening to the podcast and taking this journey with me as we discover different avenues to break through those limits, expand your reality, and evolve into the person you desire to be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Dr. Vic, and you are listening to The Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you on, as this topic is something that I don't want to say preach. I don't like saying that. I don't like saying the word teach. It's more like sharing. I share it to the world a lot because in my little short life that I've lived so far, a lot of times the things I've studied and the things that I've read and the podcasts I've listened to and the videos that I do, it's always I'm listening and hearing about people telling you what to think, right? They'll tell you a certain way. This is what you do with this. This is how you do this. This is what people have with this. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. There's a beauty behind that. It's great to know how others think or a way to think or be or things along those nature. But a lot of people like to share tips, 3 top things to do this, the 5 things to do this, the 10 things to notice for this. And it's a lot of what to think kind of ways rather than how. And the concept came to me I was reading a book one time, and it was about the law of attraction. And what was interesting is the author kept saying, I'm going to share with you how to think, not what to think. And the statement kept shooting out at me. And there came a point in my life where I started to look at things. It was like, you know what? I really this is something that I want to be doing for the world. I want to be able to help people and share with them how. Tap into the true aspects of who they are and to really find their true nature through understanding how instead of what. Because what I understood and what I started to learn was that when you start to focus on what to think, you become a robot, a clone, a copy of the individual that you're coming from. And in personal development and a lot of things in the world nowadays, a lot of people are just copying other people's stuff and they make it their own. I see it happen often. I see it with my stuff. I see it with other people's stuff. As I get to meet more speakers and listen to more things, it's funny how the stuff they use, I sometimes, because I've read a lot of books in my life, not that I have patients who've read 10x the books I've read. We're talking 2,000 to 3,000 books. I've maxed. I used to read up to 60, up to most I've read in 1 year was 120 books. And now I have a different approach on how I read. But it's one of those things that I can kind of tell where someone's getting their material from. And what always annoys me is when they never give credit sometimes. Now, they don't have to get credit all the time, but give credit to some of the things that who've helped you along the way, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be who you are. Like, a lot of my teachers, my mentors, the people I have worked with or been with and who's taught me things, I will share who I got it from, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't evolve and become who I am. I needed that material to take to the next level to be me. And so that's the kind of concept. And so when it comes to what to think, you're being directed on how to be a certain way and you just follow it. It's follow this script, do this and get that, do this and get this, and it's not that it's not, you'll become successful. I have a lot of friends who are wildly successful from just doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing you want to make sure of is, if you are just following something else or following a script or doing the what you end up doing is you miss it. You're muting your soul. So you get what you want from the physical world, but you miss out from the spiritual world because you were not designed to be something else. You are not something else. You're not designed to be the same of someone else. You see, the Pauli exclusion principle, which is a quantum mechanic principle that states that there are no two beings or things that are alike in the entire universe. There's no two snowflakes that are alike. Now think about all the thousands upon millions of years here on Earth, how much snow has fallen, and not two snowflakes were alike. Neither are you. There's no two souls that are alike. The world doesn't need you to be a copycat of someone else. The world doesn't need you to be just following someone so that you can just go ahead and try to be successful as much as you can. The world doesn't need that. You're better than that. Don't let insecurities get in the way of things. You are designed to thrive and massively grow. You are designed to be an individual who really is there to share your light upon the world. And so this is the difference between what versus how. How comes from you. No, you can learn things but you change it and make it yours. In chiropractors do this a lot with their adjustments. They learn multitudes of adjustments and they find to what they like. They extrapolate from that and they take different pieces of it and make it their own. I do that in my own way with the adjustments and the techniques that I use. And it's in life, you want to do the exact same thing. You want to be you can take the information, but make it you. And so a way of understanding how is using different methods and processes to figure out what works for you. It's creating your own recipes. You're not listening because, I did this, so guess what? Now everyone does this, so I'm going to do it too. Or I learned this, so I'm going to do that, so everyone else is going to too. It's not about that. It's about you finding what works for you. You doing the work, you doing the research, and you figure out what works for you. You say, you know what, that's great. You do it that way, and that's great that so-and-so does it this way, but this is just what works for me. And that's it. And I've done that in my life in many different ways. Sometimes people say I'm a little bullheaded because, and I am. I'm a type of individual who doesn't like to go with the grain. I want to go against it. I'm not here to play small. I'm not here to be liked per se. And I know I'm saying this on my own podcast where some people will be like, you need likability to grow, which I totally agree with that. But my purpose is that I want to be able to share a message that's going to empower. I want to be able to leave a legacy that I know that I created radical change. And that is becoming more and more of my purpose. And I start to look at things like the mindset, self-development, personal development industry, even chiropractic. And there's a lot that I'm like, there needs to be some big radical change here. And that's kind of what my main focus has been. And so when I look at from a mindset perspective, there's so many things that are so overly complicated sometimes, and it doesn't have to be, right? If you go on the personal development side of things, you're always going to hear the word grind, hustle, overwork, beat your competition. You got to stay up long nights and all this stuff. And I just found out that why I did that and it didn't work. And I was like, all right, there's got to be something else to this. And the universe was providing to me something totally different. And then I had to step into that and trust and focus on me. And it was amazing how the process transformed and changed and really did start to manifest in my own way. And now I'm not stressed. I don't worry as much. Yeah, shit still hits the fan. Things still suck. I still get lean years or lean months. But you know what though? I don't worry about it as much anymore. My wife and I relationship has thrived. We're so much closer on an emotional and spiritual connection, which is more important to me than anything else because there's other things in life that are really, really great, but that aspect is what's really important to me. My relationships with my friends and my family, just the essence of what I do in my office and the people I help and serve and the radical changes we're making in their lives, that becomes really, really important to me. And it's given me more things than money can ever buy. And I'm very blessed to do what I do on a daily basis. I'm very blessed to share this podcast with you. I'm very blessed to do those things. But I had to go through triumphs. I had tribulations. I had to go through those tribulations to get to where I had to get to. I had to see it from a different perspective. I had to fail and fall down many times so I could fail forward, so I can move forward. Seth Godin, I think Seth, I'm messing up his last name now. But he'll talk about, he has a book called Fail Forward. And or fail up, I'm sorry. And so, but you want to fail forward, right? A lot of gurus will talk about that. And it's like the quote that I live by. It's the one quote that has transformed my life. And it's the best quote that truly explains life, in my opinion. And that is Rocky Balboa stating, life is not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. You got to be willing to take the hits. It's not about me, you, or nobody's, and so you don't blame anyone. You just do the work. And it's not, it's cowards do that, and so forth. But anyhow, it's that quote that really sums life, in my opinion, because life's going to knock you on your ass. Better be ready for it. Life's going to continue to do what it does. That's what it's designed to do. You didn't come here from the spiritual realms and non-physical form and come here just to have an easy life. It doesn't work that way. The earth is designed as a conscious school, that it's a big university for souls to come and have massive growth. And massive growth can only happen when you have when you have contrast, when you have tribulations, when you have challenges. Nothing grows in the body unless it's challenged. The immune system does not grow unless it's challenged. The immune system doesn't get strengthened unless it's challenged. The body does the exact same thing. A muscle doesn't grow unless it's challenged. The mind doesn't grow unless it's challenged. Starting to grasp it a little bit here? Your skin doesn't get thicker unless it's challenged. So we have to look at it from that perspective and understand that life is like that. So coming back to my point, the point is that you have to figure out what works for you. And sometimes that's not going to be a smooth road, but at the end of the day, you got to be doing you got to understand how to think rather than what to think. It's time we don't follow the ways of the people who are just guiding us. There's something that they're awesome in what they do, but you really want to take that from a perspective of how to think rather than what to think. Take their information, simulate it, and realize how can this work for you? Tap into your emotions, tap into your feelings, tap into your intuition, and let that guide you. Let your intuition guide you, because that's the smartest brain you have. It's always going to guide you along the way to where you need to go. Some people call it the soul's compass, the soul's navigator. I like soul's compass. It's their soul guiding you to where you need to be. And it's one of those things that you always, always, always want to focus on and make sure that you are following your intuition, because it will always take you to where you need to go. It will always show you the light of where you have to be. It'll take you to the experiences you have to experience to have the massive growth you came here to have. So when it comes to learning things, take in and make it yours. Learn how to implement it into your life and make it part of you, rather than just taking someone's stuff and just becoming a clone to them. I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't come off too harsh on this, but it's just something that I've noticed that I just see constantly all the time. And one of the things I just want in my programs that I do, my 5-week course, my 12-week course, all that, it's not about teaching you something new. A lot of people, if you look at some of the reviews I have on Instagram, if you go on my course website, you'll see the reviews have nothing to do with, I learned XYZ, so great. It was more about, holy cow, these are things I've heard before. These are things I've been studying before. It isn't that it's something new. It's that it was explained differently. It was brought to a certain way, a certain energy, a certain form. And that's the kind of work I do when it comes to the classes that I teach. It's about helping you how to think rather than what to think. And my whole vision is to create classes that really continue that movement, because from there, then I know I'm helping people find their soul's purpose, their legacy, and I'm helping their light shine bright to the world, expressing their soul to the world, expressing the light that's needed to this world, so that we can really create a grassroots movement and really create this spiritual change, this revolution that's going on spiritually, to help continue that process, to really create the transformation that this world needs, to really help take things back and get back in connection with nature, to get back in connection with natural law, to get back in connection with spiritual laws, and really grasp and understand the beauty of who we really are as humans, and the joy of us being in this world together, and how it's really a beautiful place to grow, learn, and expand, and how we're all the same, we're all one, we're all mirrors of each other, and to really get into that place of I don't want to say utopia, but a place of just pure bliss, and having individuals basically bring the non-physical world of creativity, imagination, basically being childlike, in other words, and be able to bring that to the adults and so forth, so that we can bring more love upon this world, raise the frequencies of the world to experience more higher ranges of emotions, and to truly make this an amazing experience for us all to enjoy. So if you are interested in some of the classes I have, I do have a new workshop coming up. It's a new online course. You can see in my Instagram feed. If you follow me on Instagram, I have a bunch of success stories that have been going up. If you go to the course page, which is, you can find it in the show notes. You can see some of these testimonies, massive amount of testimonies I've had. I've done this program 4 times. We've had some massive transformations. It's actually been mind-blowing for me on how much transformation has been going on. I kid you not. Look at the success stories, guys. They're real. They're authentic. They're true. These people who have shared it, the growth I've seen them do spiritually, energetically, physically, mentally, and all the above has truly been amazing. And just for me, just to sit back and be someone who they've come to help in the journey, to help assist in the journey, really has been mind-blowing for me. And I just really enjoy it. Just blessed to be that person. So if this resonates with you, check out the class, sign up. We do have a limited amount of space. Registration is going to be coming up to a close soon here at the end of this week. And so we kind of keep the group small because I like to bring an individual process. I bring it from a group setting, but I create an individual experience in a group setting. So if this is calling you, if you're looking for a change, doesn't matter where you are in life. You don't have to be a business owner, don't have to be an entrepreneur. It could just be wherever you are in life. This is going to be that one class that helps you live to be your, discover your legacy and share what I've learned the last 10 to 12 years within 5 weeks. Pretty powerful stuff. It is impact. It's like a boot camp. And you get that with it. And you also get my book audio. You get the podcasts that I've done recordings of my book talking about it, each chapter. And I also have the audiobook up there that you're available to you. When you sign up, you get that also available to you for 6 months. So it's a great way to get a whole piece of all the puzzle of everything that I'm doing. So go ahead and if it's calling to your heart, definitely go ahead and register. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at drvic@empoweryourreality.com. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you guys. I really do appreciate you taking time to listen to this podcast. If you could do me a favor, just share some of what you think about it on iTunes. If you're listening there, if you're on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you are, just share a review. Just tell us what you think about it. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, until next time, hope you guys are looking forward to the next podcast interview that we're having coming up. I'm actually pulling it up here real quick. It will be with Dr. Rob and Debbie Maldonado. It's a great podcast we're going to be doing. They talk a lot about Jungian psychology and so many more things that we get into and how to really find your conscious and truth in yourself. And they break it down very well. Tons of info about them. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see a post about them tomorrow. And then from there, you can follow them when we release the podcast on Friday. So as always, guys, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. And until next time, keep rocking and rolling.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. For past shows, please visit www.empoweryourreality.com. I hope this show inspired you and added to your life to help you on the journey to rediscover who you really are. To connect with us on Facebook, please visit www.facebook.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. Check us out on Twitter. The handle is Dr. Vic21. Follow us on Instagram, www.instagram.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. If you were inspired by the podcast, pay it forward by sharing it with someone who you know can benefit from it. Thank you again for listening to the Mindful Experiment podcast, sharing paths to help you rediscover your infinite potential.